Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. O God, whom saints and angels delight to worship in heaven, we gather here today to celebrate the induction of Denee and Landis into Trinity's Arts Hall of Fame. We thank you for the gifts and talents you have bestowed upon them. Continue to bless them with creativity and passion. May their legacy encourage all the Trinity saints to seek and discover their own artistic expressions. And we ask you to be ever present with all your servants who strive through art and music to perfect the praises offered by your people on earth. And grant us all continued glimpses of your beauty. And ask all this through Jesus Christ. Amen. Please be seated.
Faculty, students, visitors, welcome to our annual Arts Hall of Fame ceremony. Established in 2011, the Arts Hall of Fame recognizes alumni and former faculty who have distinguished themselves with careers in the arts, and today we are honored to have two very special alumni with us, Denee Benton and Landis Carey, who are being inducted today as our 2025 recipients. Yes. This is also a great time for us to thank our parents' organization, Patrons of the Arts, who actively support, promote, and enhance the fine arts experience at Trinity Prep. These fantastic volunteers enable the execution of all of our productions and art and music master classes. Their contribution of time and finances enriches what it means to be a saint. In concert with Ms. Spellman, please join me in thanking all of those who have volunteered throughout the year for their commitment to the arts experience of everyone in the Trinity community. At this time, I'd like to welcome Tobin Baum, President of Patrons of the Arts, to the mic.
The patrons are proud to support the fine arts at Trinity Prep. Research has proven without a doubt that the arts enhance creativity, promote critical thinking, increase motivation, and improve academic performance. The fine arts are an invaluable part of every student's education, whether as an active participant or as an audience member here at Trinity Prep. The Patrons of the Arts has a long-standing mission to bring the extras that make a difference and further enhance the curriculum. This includes master classes and workshops, as well as larger scale experiences, such as supporting field trips to the Theater and Music District in New York City, the Art Basel Festival in Miami, multiple a cappella competitions, and also the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland. The Patrons of the Arts organization is delighted to sponsor these programs, which help enrich the arts education for our Trinity Prep students. We are so proud of the accomplishments of those who have passed through Trinity Prep and have had an impact, not only here, but throughout their field. We are so pleased to be presenting the newest members of the Trinity Prep Arts Hall of Fame. To introduce them and to tell you more of their accomplishments is our Fine Arts Department Chair, Jolie Spellman.
Good morning. Today I have the distinct honor of introducing two Hall of Fame inductees who, you will hear, excelled here at Trinity Prep and well beyond. Denee Benton. Denee is a Tony Award-nominated actress who currently stars as Peggy Scott in the HBO critically acclaimed and Emmy and Screen Actors Guild nominated series, The Gilded Age, which will continue in its 3rd season this year. Denee recent film credits include starring roles in Dreams in Nightmares, the Tribeca Film Festival's Tender Thoughts, A Genie on Peacock, and the independent feature Our Friend with Dakota Johnson and Casey Affleck. She also delivered a memorable performance as Ruby in the Lifetime award-winning series Unreal. She made her Broadway debut as Natasha in Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet of 1812, earning a nomination for the Tony, Drama League, and Theater Awards, and a Lily Awards in recognition in Forbes 30 Under 30. Her Broadway career continues and stands out with her roles as Elsa in Hamilton, Nabulunji in The Book of Mormon, Susan in Tick, Tick, Boom, and Cinderella in the Broadway revival Into the Woods. She's a proud graduate of Carnegie Mellon University and TBS. Denee continues to captivate audiences with her magnetic presence and her exceptional range. Let's give a loud and proud welcome to Denee Benton.
Hi, everyone. Wow, thank you so much for having me. It is beautiful. Really special being back here. Should I let this play or should I begin? Let it play, okay.
And without any guide, you know what your decision is, which is not to decide. You'll just leave him a clue. For example, a shoe. And then see what he'll do. Now it's he and not you who is stuck with a shoe in a stew, in the goo. And you've learned something too, something you never knew, on the steps of the
palace. It's pretty incredible to be back here because so many of these dreams literally began like right there, center stage. I can remember being in these wings, I felt like I was already on Broadway, how seriously I took everything. And so I think it would be really easy for me to stand up here and give you some step-by-step guide to success, but I wanted to talk to some of the overachievers in the room. Would any of you consider yourselves an overachiever? Raise your hand. All of you should be raising your hand because you go to Trinity Prep and you had to be an overachiever to get here. Yes. Okay, thank you for being honest with me. I wanted to talk a little bit about, obviously, I've gotten to be in some rooms that I've dreamt of with the shiniest, most famous people that you see on TikTok or on Instagram or on any of the spaces that you watch all of the celebrities move about. But I really want you right now to think about the last time you made what you considered a huge mistake. Think about it. Bring it in. And do you have it? Okay, and now I want you to think about the voice that was in your head when you made it and what you were saying to yourself. Do you have it? Okay, now I want you to also think about the last time you feel like you said the wrong thing to someone you really wanted to impress. Okay, I feel you. And think about the voices that were in your head after you said those things. Okay. So, my voices often sound like, oh my God, I've done it now, I've ruined everything, and now nothing will ever be okay again. And what I've learned in some of these big successes and the Tony nominations is that that voice is actually my most consistent companion. The same voice that on my first day at Trinity, not knowing anyone, I was scared that my hair wasn't right and my clothes weren't right and I didn't know the right songs, is the same voice that can show up with me before I go to the big awards ceremony. The same voice that I thought I had ruined my high school career or chances of getting into college because I deleted my 12-page AP psychology paper the day before it was due, is the same voice that shows up in my head when I'm late for an audition. And I'm finally learning that getting to enjoy my successes, which I imagine all of you have already started to dream up what your life for yourself could be, whether you know what you want to do or not. You imagine where you want to be when you get to be in charge of yourselves. And I'm learning that to enjoy wherever that is, you have to start making friends and getting to know that voice now, and starting to see it as your companion instead of an enemy, and starting to see, for me, that that voice was really just a girl who was scared of feeling left out, or scared of not being one of the cool kids, or scared of not belonging. But what's cool is that you can also be the first person now to tell that voice that they do belong, and you can wrap them in a really cozy blanket and bring them with you to some of the things that you find really scary, or the spaces that you feel like you said the wrong thing or could never make it right. Because some of those big fancy photos and some of those moments on stage, for me, were some of the days when those voices were the loudest. And I'm finally realizing that arriving into the life of your dreams doesn't necessarily mean you overcome those fears and overcome those voices, but it means you just carry them with you while you rise, and they don't take up quite as much space. So if I have any advice for you, it's to right now imagine what that life of your dreams could look like. Take a minute, close your eyes, try to see it, even though it's going to change a million times before you get there. And imagine that that voice you hear now when you make a mistake, that voice you hear now when you say the wrong thing, is still with you. And also imagine that you have just a few people with you that you really trust, that you can share those fears with, and will remind you who you are when they get a little too loud. And that, to me, is more important than any grade you get today or any accomplishment you get today. It's that maybe when you're up here accepting your big award, you can remember that, oh, maybe those voices can be my friend, and maybe I can actually have some fun when I'm on the big stage accepting my big award with my hair wrong after I said something really awkward to Meryl Streep. And it's all worth it. And so I think that when I reflect on my time here, I reflect on how hard we can be on ourselves. And that pressure doesn't necessarily get you here. What gets you here is whatever you held on to, that dream that you see right now, remembering that that dream is just as important as that critic, and that they can walk hand in hand to get you here as well. So that's everything. And just thank you for having me. This is really such an incredible honor. And I hope that some of that felt meaningful to you. Thank you.
Wow, some memorable words there. I'll take those with me. Landis Livingston Carey, class of '99. Landis has been working with clay for over 20 years. Throwing, hand building, carving, and experimental glazes are a meditative practice that brings heightened awareness and an understanding to her beautiful craft. Landis is a resident of the Arts Warehouse in Delray Beach. She's exhibited her work in the Ona Gallery in Palm Beach, the Marian Arts Center in St. Pete, the Incheon Chinatown in South Korea, and Innovation Campus in Boca Raton. The city of Delray Beach purchased her work in 2024 as a gift to the mayor of their sister city, Miyazu, Japan. Originally from Central Florida, Landis spent the last 2 decades in the Southeast, where she had a pottery studio in Brooklyn and New Jersey. In 2023, she relocated to South Florida with her husband and 3 children. Landis has a Bachelor of Arts degree in studio art from Furman University and is currently a postbaccalaureate in studies of ceramics at Florida Atlantic University. She holds an MBA in marketing from Fordham University. Please, let's give a warm TPS welcome to Landis.
Wow, thank you. Denee, I don't know how I can follow the voice talk because the voice saved my life. Listen to the voice, get to know your voice. Thank you for having me. I graduated in 1999, which makes me 44. And it's still a bit wild to call myself an artist. While I've been working in clay for 20 years, more than 20 years, it's only been until recently that I've professionalized my practice. So I'm here to share with you today a little bit about that journey and that we don't have to have all of the answers, ever. So I have a question. When you think of ceramics, do you think of pottery and tableware, or do you think of sculpture and installation? Yay! All of it. It can be all of it. It's art. That's the point. It's not craft, it's art. It's how we express. I used to throw only pottery, but now I explore through installation. And I believe that's what you're seeing here today. I am working towards 2-story, multi-story installations based off of my meditation practice. I meditate a lot, and when I meditate, I experience color. I see it, I feel it. It's like I'm swimming in a 3D watercolor of different viscosities and densities and these bright, brilliant prisms of white light. The colors are emotions, and the white light is purity. And through lots of journaling and various practices, I've learned that I need to pay attention to where the white light pierces the color. That is what I'm meant to explore. So through my practice, I layer glazes upon glazes. I fire, I refire. And in fact, I was meant to bring a gift to Trinity this morning, but I was unhappy with the results from the kiln earlier this week, so you'll have it next year, school year. So I wanted to share a little bit about how I spend my day. Being an artist is a bit fluid, but when you're also a mom of 3, you have limited hours. I'm usually in the studio early, sometimes by 5:30, and I work several hours before I take my kids to school. I find those early morning hours to be very creative, and it's the time when I'm able to plan my new projects and really work on my experimentations. But what was also interesting is that it was also the time I learned in high school here at Trinity that I was my most clear. I could not study the night before a test. I had to study in the mornings leading up to the exam. So it's very important to understand about yourself when you work your best, when you're on. And that's one thing that I absolutely brought forward with me from my time here, studying and studying and studying. But that's the creative side of being an artist. There's also a business side. I do have an MBA in business, which is, I had a whole career before this. Well, that's another talk, another time. But the business side of being an artist involves marketing, accounting, research, relationship management, reaching out to galleries, PR, writing, submitting proposals to various exhibitions. And there's a lot to it. I love it. I deeply connect with it. And it's a lot of fun. So I'm really happy to share all of that with you today. But I also recognize, and I remember being where you are, and I remember this immense pressure of feeling like I had to figure it out, whatever it was, like where I was going to college. Of course, I ended up knowing that, but what I wanted to study and what I wanted to be, and maybe even who I wanted to be. There was so much pressure, I think, internally. But 7 years ago, I faced a serious health crisis, and I got a second chance at life. My family had to make some changes, and for me, not being an artist was no longer an option. It had to come out. It was time. I had avoided it. I had avoided the title for 20 years, but it was time to say, this is who I am, this is what I do, and to take myself seriously. So, after getting back on stable ground, my family relocated from the Northeast to South Florida. And I was awarded a 4-year residency at a wonderful, creative, warm, and welcoming art center in Delray Beach. And it has been a godsend. It allowed me to professionalize my practice, and I'm involved in this amazing cohort of individuals who pursue in a dedicated way. But I want to say to you, I still don't have it all figured out. You can ask my son, who's sitting over here. Most days I'm a little chaotic and crazy. But my husband and I always come back together and ask ourselves, are we living according to our values? That is really what it comes down to. What are your values, and are you living them out? And we really lean on that, and that's what life requires. You have to pivot and reconsider. Finding passions. I can sit here today and tell you all to find your passions, but I think that's a really overwhelming message because that's like a really big task. I didn't find clay until I was in college. But passions often start with curiosity, and I think following those threads of curiosity are really important as we navigate through our different chapters of life. I always wanted to make art. When I was your age, I loved art galleries and museums. I wanted to know more. When I visited London with Miss Spiker, that was my favorite part of my trip. So I want to encourage you to think about the life that you want. What do you want it to feel like? The life you want, not your friends, not your parents, not your teachers, not all of the voices outside of you. Think about the voice inside. You're in an incredibly encouraging environment here. Everybody is cheering you on. This is a place where you can try new things, take classes, get help, and I encourage you all to do that. You're a part of a community here, and you're learning to be part of it in ways that many never understand. And the excellence that you see here is extremely rare, and you will realize that when you're out in the real world. So take all of that with you and stay open and curious. Thank you for having me. I'm always available to chat, not kidding. Any questions? I'm a mom of 3. I love to chat with young people.
Wow, you guys just got a master class in life. You realize that, right? One more time, let's congratulate our inductees. Thank you very much for joining us for our induction, guests, faculty, and staff. We invite you to join us for the reception at the Fatag and Falk as we celebrate our newest inductees. Thank you. You're dismissed. Thank you. You may be dismissed.